In this tutorial, we shall learn how to set up optional fields. In SYNDi, you can set up an unlimited number of optional fields to represent your data in various ways. On the main menu, let's go to Setup and let us click on Optional Fields. Now, you can set up optional fields in 4 tables, and these tables are borrower, investor, loan, and investor receipt. We'll ignore investor and investor receipts for the time being because they are used for syndicated loans, and we are not using syndicated loans here. So let us say if we want to set up some optional fields for the borrowers table, we select the borrower. And let's define a field, and we will call it date of birth. So we will enter the date of birth of each borrower. Okay, what is the field type? The field type could be either text, or it could be a number, or it could be a yes/no field, or it could be a date field. Now, in every case, you will also give the size of the fields. For example, if you don't change it, then here the date of birth could be 10 characters long. In this case, we will say that yes, the date of birth, we want it to be a date field, so that if you are typing anything except date, then it will give you an error. Now, validation type could be either no validation, in which case if you leave the field blank, then it doesn't matter, or list, in which case you give a list of valid values. Then it could be a range, that the date could be from this date to that date, or you could simply say that it should be non-blank, so that it becomes necessary to enter the date, and that's what we will do in this case. Okay, and the size, let's keep 2 digits for the date, 2 digits for the month, 4 digits for the year, and then the 2 slashes, and therefore 10 is the proper size. This field will be, this optional field will be active. When you stop using an optional field, then you can render it inactive, and then it doesn't prompt you for that. So let us say that we want to set up this field. Okay. Now we will set up another optional field, and we will call it credit rating. It will be a text field, and the size will be just 1 character, and for validation we will use a list, and the list will contain these values: A, which means good, tab, B, tab, average, tab, C, tab, poor, and let us save it. So we have now set up 2 optional fields, date of birth and credit rating. Okay, let us see what the result of that is. Let us close it, and let us go to the borrower setup screen, and let us call the first borrower, Jim Blowski. And let's take a look at the optional fields. See, it contains date of birth and it contains credit rating. Let us give credit rating here. So you simply just click here and just choose B, which is the average, and save it. Okay. No, it won't let you save it, because when we define date of birth, we had said that it has to be non-blank, and therefore let us say OK, and let us now come here to the date of birth, and let us click here, so it gives us the control. And suppose the date of birth was say 1951, and the month was March, and the day was 21st of March 1951. So that was the date of birth. And we say save. So it has saved it. So now for every borrower, we'll have to set up the date of birth and the credit rating. Now, if you don't call any borrower and don't make any changes, then it's fine. It won't hurt SYNDi, except you won't have their data available. But for any new borrowers, it will want you to do it. Or for example, if you bring an existing borrower, say I'll go to this one, which is debt sys, and I'll make some change to, for example, to the address, and see what's going to happen. Right now, the save button is disabled, but if I say suite number 203, I made some change to this record, and therefore the save button has become enabled. And so I save it, and it complains. It says optional field date of birth value must be date. Now, obviously, this is a corporate borrower, and so the corporate borrower does not have a date of birth. So we will have to, when we are defining the date of birth, we'll simply have to give it a meaning or make it optional so that you don't really have to enter it. But here in this case, instead of date of birth, I could just put in, say, date of incorporation of the company, which is, for example, it was 213, August 14, 2013, and the credit rating is A, which is good. And now you should be able to save this record because you have entered the values of optional fields. So that's how you will use optional fields the way you want to. And you can set up as many optional fields here as you want. Some of them could be mandatory, some of them could be optional, some could be date type, some could be text type, some you validate, and some you don't have to validate.